meeting, and we have several folks that we're recognizing tonight, and one of our former legislators that we're honoring and remembering tonight. So we'll get right started with our first resolution. This is P 31423, a resolution commending Elusive Restaurant and Bar upon the occasion of being featured on America's Best Restaurants. And I would invite Joe and anyone else that's here to come down. And this is a presentation by Legislator Stahl. Right here.
Whereas it is customary for the legislative body to recognize outstanding contributions and achievements of business throughout Rensselaer County. And whereas attended to such duty and fully in accord with its long-standing traditions, it is the intent of the legislative body to convey compliments and our sincerest congratulations to Elusive Restaurant and Bar upon the occasion of being featured on America's Best Restaurants. And whereas America's Best Restaurants is a national media and marketing company focusing on local independently owned restaurants around the country. And whereas America's Best Restaurants filmed at Elusive Restaurants and Bar on July 13th, 2023. And whereas Elusive Restaurant and Bar located at 3 Ferry Street, Rensselaer, New York is family-owned restaurant operating since 2015. And whereas operating a restaurant was a dream of owner Joseph Ventris Jr. since he started working in the kitchens at a young age with his father. And whereas although COVID and a kitchen fire proved challenging, Elusive has been able to stay in the community serving elevated pub fare in an upscale casual setting. And whereas Elusive has won second place Best Burger, New York State Beef Council in 2022, first place People's Choice Capital Wing Wars in 2022, fourth place Best Burger, New York State Beef Council 2021, and whereas Elusive was voted Best Burgers, Happy Hours, Chicken Wings, and Salads this year by Capital Region Living, now therefore be it resolved that this legislative body pause in its deliberations and most joyously honor Joseph Ventris Jr. and Elusive Restaurant Bar for being featured on America's Best Restaurants, and be it further resolved that the clerk of the legislature is hereby directed to transmit a copy of this resolution suitably engrossed to Joseph Ventris Jr. And I'd like to say I've eaten there a few times, well, a few more than a few times, but of course you got to sample all the stuff that you won all those awards for. And I know people in my office, I work at Albany Med in the IT area, and I know a number of them have gone and have gotten food, and everybody loves it. I'd like to say it's a secret, but it's usually pretty crowded there. And I guess that goes to show how outstanding the food really is. So if you have not been there, stop by. You won't be disappointed at all. Would you? Would you like to say a few words?
I'm honored and speechless. This is amazing. I wish my family could be here, but my wife is working now, and my daughter's working, so I'm here solo, basically, how I started the business. I love being part of Rensselaer County, and I love bringing some sunshine to this side of the river, and I plan on continuing this for many more years to come. So we're looking forward to more growth and success. And I appreciate it.
Sorry, hold on. I know if you don't want to answer. My daughter, okay. My daughter's Gianna Fiala.
Yes, I do.
Okay, yes.
She's always,
They're big fan of your
we
place.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
I'm
of
like
course.
speechless. Very,
Nice
very.
job.
I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Soon.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Stay
Yes,
in the city.
we will
would
always
love to
stay in
keep
Rensselaer.
Hello.
I will never go and leave anywhere. Like, I've been offered me to go all over, but like, this is my home.
Great.
This is where we're gonna stay.
Great.
Gentlemen, thank you.
Thank
I
you.
really
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much.
Take care.
God bless. Thank you.
She told him to come on golf.
Okay, our next resolution is P 36123. This is a resolution commending Clayton LeBlanc for his heroic and life-saving actions. And this is a presentation by Legislator Casal. Is Clayton here? Please come on up front. And your family and friends and everybody who's with you, you're more than welcome to join him. And Legislator Gendron.
Brother. I'm sorry. Everybody here? Okay, this is a resolution condemning Clayton LeBlanc for his heroic and life-saving actions. This legislative body endeavors and recognizes the outstanding individuals and provide needed and exemplary service to the residents of Rensselaer County, and the manner of which an emergency responded, it can mean the difference between life and death. On July 23rd, 2023, Clayton LeBlanc, Raymondtown Fire Department firefighter, was enjoying a day of swimming, cliff jumping with his family at the Dorset Quarry in Dorset, Vermont. While climbing back up after a jump, Clayton noticed another individual jumped off the cliff, attempting to do a flip, landing headfirst into the water. The individual was knocked unconscious and proceeded to sink to the bottom, causing air bubbles to rise out of the water. Realizing the victim was in trouble, Clayton jumped into the water to render aid. Just as another individual jumped in and brought the victim to surface. As Clayton and the other rescuer were lifting the victim out of the water, he began to convulse and vomit. Clayton kept his victim's airway open, and the victim regained unconsciousness. Both heroic rescuers stayed with the victim until emergency personnel arrived. The victim was transported to an area hospital where he fully recovered. This legislative body recognizes the quick, decisive actions and extraordinary efforts of Clayton LeBlanc. He is the most deserving of thanks and recognized by the members of this body and the residents of Rensselaer County. That this legislative body does hereby recognize and commend Clayton LeBlanc for his life-saving act of heroism. And be further that the clerk of the legislature hereby directed to transmit a copy of the resolution so being engrossed to Clayton LeBlanc, adopted September 12, 2023. So Clayton, I want to thank you. I know the Raymondtown fire families, great bunch of people. I know your dad very well, and I just want to thank you for all you did. It's incredible, and you just go ahead, and I have this thing for you. And if you want to say anything, Wayne, or and there's a resolution we have for Clayton, and I'm going to give you a heroic pin that we give to a very nice pin for you can put on your lapel now for heroic duties. And you want to say anything?
Sure.
It'd be great. And if you're not, I know your dad loves to speak, so he can.
I'd just like to say I'm very honored for this award. It really does mean a lot. I'd do it anytime, any day again. I was very lucky to get the kid, and I'm glad he's okay. I want to thank everyone from the firehouse and my family for the great support here tonight, and I think that's all I have. Thank you very much.
Okay, our next resolution is P 36223. This is a resolution honoring the heroic actions of North Greenbush Department Sergeant Matthew Peasley and Officer Nolan Gray. I would ask both officers to come and join us up front. This is a presentation by myself, legislators Grant, Bailey, and Fiacco. So this is a resolution honoring the heroic actions of North Greenbush Police Department Sergeant Matt Peasley and Officer Nolan Gray. On January 14th, 2023, Sergeant Peasley and Officer Gray, two dedicated members of the North Greenbush Police Department, demonstrated extraordinary bravery and compassion in responding to a 911 hang-up call in North Greenbush. And whereas Sergeant Peasley, as the first officer to arrive on the scene, exhibited exemplary dedication to his duty by meticulously checking the address indicated by the emergency call, and upon discovering no one at the residence, displayed resourcefulness and initiative by searching the surrounding area. And whereas it was during this diligent search that Sergeant Peasley's acute sense led him to the faint cries for help emanating from the direction of a nearby lake, where he found a woman submerged in freezing waters, facing the grave threat of hypothermia. And whereas Officer Gray swiftly joined Sergeant Peasley at the lake, and together these two officers displayed unwavering courage and compassion by rescuing the distressed woman from perilous circumstances and administering life-saving measures, thereby preventing a tragic loss of life. It was revealed that the woman had been in the midst of a desperate act to end her own life, but due to the change of heart, had found herself in a life-threatening situation that would have proven fatal without the timely intervention of Sergeant Peasley and Officer Gray. On February 7th, 2023, Officer Gray once again exhibited remarkable dedication to the duty when he responded to a call involving an emotionally distressed individual that had previously attempted self-harm. Officer Gray's quick thinking and decision, which included forcibly entering a locked room, revealed a critical situation where the individual was actively attempting self-harm, hanging in a dire situation in need of immediate assistance. Officer Gray, with the exceptional composure and skill, swiftly cut the individual down from life-threatening situation and initiated vital life-saving measures, effectively preventing another tragic loss of life. The actions of Sergeant Peasley and Officer Gray on both January 14th and February 7th exemplify the highest standards of professionalism, courage, and compassion in the line of duty. Their unwavering commitment to preserving life, even in the face of dire circumstances, reflects great credit upon themselves, their department, and the community that they serve. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the members of the Rensselaer County Legislature do hereby extend our profound gratitude and admiration to Sergeant Matthew Peasley and Officer Nolan Gray for their exceptional acts of heroism and their unwavering dedication to the safety and well-being of our community. And be it further resolved that we honor Sergeant Matt Peasley and Officer Nolan Gray for their outstanding achievements by presenting them both with this resolution, recognizing them as heroes who have made a profound and positive impact in our community. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be presented to both of them as a lasting token of our appreciation and as a testament to their exemplary service and dedication to the residents of North Greenbush. I am very fortunate to actually know both of these officers quite well. One of them a very close family friend, and one who I've known since he was in kindergarten. You can see that both of them had gone kind of above and beyond the call of duty, just went that extra step to further investigate that call, and because of their diligence in their duties, lives were saved. They exemplify what a model police officer does in the line of duty. And for those reasons, it is our honor to present both of you with the legislator's highest recognition, a hero pin for valor and service. Thank you very much. Our next resolution is P 36323. This is a resolution honoring Troy Police K-9 Norby for his bravery and resilience while investigating a robbery and capturing of a subject. I'd like to invite Sergeant Chris Dorio, K-9 Norby, and any of the family, friends, members of the police department that would like to join us up front. And this is a presentation by myself and anybody else who'd like to join me. Hi, Rob. Congratulations. We're very excited about all these police officers and canines and firemen and everyone who is just doing such great work. We're so blessed to have such professionals in Rensselaer County. This is a resolution honoring Troy Police K-9 Norby for demonstrating bravery and resilience while investigating a robbery and capturing the subject. Whereas this legislative body is committed to recognizing acts of bravery, valor, and unwavering dedication to public service. On the early morning hours of July 5th, a heroic incident took place in the Emerald Greens neighborhood of Troy, where the residents reported an armed robbery suspect attempting to enter their homes. And whereas the Troy Police Department, in its unyielding mission to protect and serve, responded promptly to this call for assistance. During this critical operation, Troy Police K-9 Norby, a valiant member of the Troy Police Department, exhibited exceptional courage and commitment in the line of duty. And whereas K-9 Norby and his handler, Sergeant Chris Dorio, demonstrated exceptional skill and determination as they tracked down the subject in a wooded area near the Emerald Greens neighborhood. It was during this pursuit that K-9 Norby exhibited unparalleled bravery, facing grave danger as he confronted the armed subject. The subject, in a shocking and violent act, lunged at K-9 Norby, inflicting multiple stab wounds upon this loyal and selfless public servant. Despite suffering from a dozen stab wounds on his back and side, K-9 Norby did not waver in his commitment to uphold the law and protect his community and his partners in law enforcement. And whereas the suspect also sustained injuries from K-9 Norby's valiant defense of his handler, underscoring the steadfastness and unwavering dedication of this courage to this K-9 and to this police officer. K-9 Norby was promptly transported to Upstate Veterinary Services for life-saving treatment and care, demonstrating the police department's dedication to the well-being of its brave public servants. With great joy and pride, the police department has shared, obviously, K-9's miraculous recovery, showcasing the resilience and determination of this remarkable K-9. This legislative body joins the Troy Police Department in extending its gratitude to the dedicated veterinary professionals who aided in K-9 Norby's recovery. And whereas this legislative body salutes the officers who lined up to applaud K-9 Norby's bravery as he exited the veterinary hospital to a hero's greeting representing the solidarity and appreciation of our entire community. K-9 Norby quickly healed and recovered before returning to active duty after a period of rest and rehabilitation, symbolizing the indomitable spirit and commitment to all those who serve and protect. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the Rensselaer County Legislature honors and commends K-9 Norby for his exceptional bravery, dedication, and unwavering commitment to the safety and security of our community. And be it further resolved that this resolution is adopted as an expression of our deep gratitude for his selfless service and is a testament to the unbreakable bond between law enforcement officers and their K-9 partners. And be it further resolved that this resolution be presented to K-9 Norby, his handler, Sergeant Chris Dorio, and the Troy Police Department as a symbol of our community's enduring appreciation and respect for their service and their sacrifice. K-9 Norby did exactly what he is trained to do, not only to apprehend suspects, but to protect their handler and other police officers. The training that Chris provides to Norby is a 24/7 commitment, both when they are home and when they're at work. They are true partners. We are thrilled and grateful for his full recovery, and we thank both of you for your commitment to each other and to the residents of the city of Troy and beyond. And with that, we would like to present K-9 Norby with a special patch and a pin of bravery, only selected for people at this point in time. This is the first time we have ever issued a hero pin for valor to an animal. So on behalf of all of us here at the legislature, we want to say thank you. We're thrilled for K-9 Norby's recovery, and we have a special certificate for him and resolution for you. This is the special pin and patch that we have for him. You want to take that? And Chris, we also have a Valor pin for you as well. We appreciate all that you do. And I'm gonna not put this on with the dog there. And certainly you can't have a dog come without giving treats and toys, so we have a bag of goodies for the dog as well. Chris, do you want to say anything? You sure? Sure? You don't want to say anything? I'll stand here with you if you want. You sure? So here's your. Would anybody else like to say anything? Yes, go ahead.
First of all, I just wanted to say it's awesome to see my friend John Becker, Captain Becker. Professionally, of course, we've been involved in the city of Troy for many, many years now. But what a lot of you might not know is that we also have been officiating ice hockey for many, many years. So we all often see each other, dressed up like this, but also in the black and white striped jerseys, calling penalties and issuing strict discipline to high school hockey players. So always good to see you, John. I wanted to say the Emerald Greens neighborhood is walking distance from where I live. And generally our neighborhoods are pretty quiet. The East Side neighborhood, Albia, Emerald Greens are pretty quiet neighborhoods. But in this case, we had someone who was attempting to break into homes, and that gets our neighbors very concerned, very nervous about what's going on in the neighborhood. And on behalf of the Emerald Greens, East Side, Albia, and Stowe Hill neighborhoods, I just want to say that we really appreciate the work that the Troy Police Department does, and especially the sacrifice that K-9 Norby made on behalf of our neighborhood. We really appreciate it, and thank you, Sergeant Dorio, as well. I can't speak highly enough of our department. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Good job, Tim. How are you, buddy? Okay, you? Good job, Kelly. Good job. You feel tough out there with those boards? Some of those boards are my mouth right now. That's too late. No. Did Harry get a picture?
This is our last, right? Okay. Our last presentation for this evening is Resolution P 37323. This is a resolution adjourning the September 12th, 2023 legislative meeting in memory of Rensselaer County Legislator James J. Brereton. This is a resolution by myself and anyone, other legislators who would like to join me. Legislator Harrington, who served with Jim for many years, unfortunately can't be here tonight, so he sends his deepest regrets and sympathy to Jim's family. So if I would like to invite Judy and Jude and Tessa and everybody else who's here to come on up front. Come right up here. Hi, Kev. It's good to see you. I know, I'm glad. Okay, this is a resolution adjourning the September 12th, 2023 legislative meeting in memory of Rensselaer County Legislator, the Honorable James J. Brereton. Whereas it is customary for this legislative body to pay honor and respect to persons who have had a great impact and influence on the citizens of this county during their time on this earth. It is with particular deep sadness that we conclude this evening's deliberations in the absence of one of our own. And whereas attendant to such duty and fully in accord with its longstanding tradition, it is the intent of this legislative body to express sincerest sorrow upon the death of James J. Brereton, which occurred on Monday, the 14th of August, in the year 2023. Respected and admired by all, it is the collective sense of this legislature that the life of Jim Brereton be memorialized and eulogized. And whereas Jim was born on May 14th, 1937 in Troy, to the late Arthur and Mary Bellows Brereton. And whereas Jim attended St. Peter's Academy before graduating from LaSalle Institute in 1955 and Siena College in 1964. Prior to attending Siena, Jim served in the New York Air National Guard, 109th Airlift Wing from 1959 to 1962. And whereas, while studying at Siena College, Jim began his career with Niagara Mohawk Power Company, first as a meter reader, and then until his retirement, he served as supervisor in the sales and marketing division. Jim also bartended at John's Tavern in Troy, owned by his father-in-law, John Gerger. And whereas Jim married his wife, Judith Gerger, on July 18, 1964 at St. Mary's Church in Troy, and together they had 3 daughters. Jim proudly represented the city of Troy in the Rensselaer County Legislature for 28 years and served on the Hudson Valley Community Board of Trustees for over 27 years, including a term as board president. And whereas Jim carried on a strong and devout commitment to his faith throughout his life and served in various volunteer positions, at St. Michael's Church. Jim was a 50-year member of the Troy Elks, as well as a member of the Troy Kiwanis, AOH, and the Knights of Columbus. Jim enjoyed summer evenings at the Joe Bruno Stadium and spending winter months with Judy in Daytona. He was a mainstay at those games. It was like he held court while he was there, right? Jim will be missed by the love of his life, his wife of 59 years, Jude Brereton, his daughters, Jude, Susan and Michael, and Kristen and Danielle, his grandchildren, Erica, Kevin, Jamie, Tessa, Nicholas, and Allison, and his great-grandchild, Thomas, as well as lifelong friends, cousins, and extended family members. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the members of the Rensselaer County Legislature adjourn this meeting in a moment of silent tribute and fond memory of James J. Brereton, and to reflect upon Jim's life of exemplary service, fully confident that his legacy will continue in this county for many, many years. And be it further resolved that the clerk of the legislature transmit a copy of this resolution suitably engrossed to the family of Jim Brereton. Mr. Brereton, as I always called him, no matter how old I was a well-respected member of our community, and literally, I think everybody knew who Jim Brereton was. I knew him as a loving dad and husband, and I spent a good part of the time I grew up with Jude and spent so much time at the Brereton's house. It was filled with love and respect. He was, above all else, a loving husband and a wonderful father, but he was a role model for many of us growing up, and we will forever miss him. He will forever be a role model to so many of us. He will be dearly missed, I know, by the members of our community. He was so active at the Hudson Valley Board in college and also here at the legislature. So I would like to invite Legislator Casal to come up and say a couple of words.
Ms. Burton and Jude. I'm not going to talk too much here, but Jim was a great friend of my dad's, and I remember in marching in parades in Troy with my dad, and in the AOH, going to AOH after the St. Patrick's Day parade or any parade, they have a few pops. And I remember Jim and the Elks. Jim would come down with his purple outfit and his umbrella. Here comes Jim, but Jim, outside politics, he was a real good friend of mine, and I learned a lot from Jim. But him and my father were good friends. Thanks.
Jim's legacy at Hudson Valley has gone on way beyond the almost 30 years he spent as a member of the Board of Trustees. He was on the board during some challenging times for the college, and through his leadership, enabled the college to become the institution of higher learning that it is today. The Board of Trustees has recognized the contributions of Jim at the college, and we really appreciate what he has done for the college and for the community at large. God bless Jim, and God bless his family.
Absolutely.
Along with Ken, I also served with Jim on the legislature, and we both represented the city of Troy. And I just, from a perspective of sitting on the floor with him, he was a dedicated and committed public servant, and he was a very respected colleague. And it was a pleasure to serve with him on the legislature, and my deepest sympathy.
Thanks, Peter. So I'm going to put you on the spot. Jude, did you want to come up and say anything? Judy? Kids, did you want to say anything? I'll stand here with you.
Hey, just want to say thank you to all the legislators for recognizing how much the Rensselaer County Legislature meant to my dad. We grew up going to the meetings from the time I was 8 years old until his last meeting. He loved and was so honored to represent the people of the city of Troy. And truly, they talked at his funeral about the phone ringing and how he never went to bed at night unless he had returned to every single phone call. He was a role model for what a public servant is and should always be. He was a role model for me and my sisters and our entire neighborhood. He's going to be so missed, and I thank you for this honor. Thanks.
Okay, it is 6:27. I'd like to call the regular meeting of the October 10th, 2023 regular meeting of the Rensselaer County Legislature to order. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Here.
Mr. Cassell? Here. Mr. Choquette? Here. Ms. Doran? Present. Mr. Fiacco? Here. Mr. Fleming?
Here.
Mr. Genren? Mr. Grant?
Present.
Mr. Grimm?
Here.
Mr. Harrington? Mr. Leverage?
Here.
Mr. Maloney? Ms. Nichols? Here. Mr. Patiri? Here. Mr. Stahl?
Here.
Ms. Weaver?
Here.
Mr. Wysocki?
Here.
Mr. Zaluski?
Here.
Chairwoman Hoffman?
Here.
There are 17 present and 2 absent.
Invocation, Mr. Grant.
Madam Chairperson, may we have a moment of silence due to the fact of all the issues going on in the world today? Let us strive to lessen the burdens of others, not add to them. Let us be helpful to the helpless. Let us work together. Let us be kind and not cruel. And let us be reminded that while there is great evil in the world, there is also great goodness. Amen.
Amen. Pledge of Allegiance, Mr. Grimm.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Chairwoman, I move that we dispense with the reading of the minutes of the regular meeting of September 12th, 2023, and approve the minutes as printed.
Thank you, Mr. Bailey. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? So moved. We'll get right to the meeting agenda. Presentation of petitions,
On file?
presentation of communications,
On file?
reports of commissions,
On file?
departmental reports,
On file?
reports of standing committees,
On file?
local laws.
There are none tonight.
G 37723.
G 37723, resolution authorizing tentative settlement agreement between the County of Rensselaer and Rensselaer County Deputy Sheriff's Police Bolivian Association, Bureau of Human Resources, introduced by legislators Wysocki, Patiri, and Zaluski.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 37823.
G 37823, resolution authorizing the purchase and installation of video surveillance equipment, Department of Social Services, introduced by legislators Grant, Loveridge, and Weaver.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 37923.
G 37923, resolution authorizing purchase of one copier, scanner, printer, fax machine, public defender, introduced by legislators Grant, Maloney, and Weaver.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 38023.
G 38023, resolution authorizing acceptance of an award from the New York State Division of Criminal Justice Services and amending the 2023 Rensselaer County Adopted Budget District Attorney, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Grant, Weaver, and Maloney.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 38123.
G 38123, resolution authorizing an agreement with Trinity Health Department of Mental Health, introduced by legislators Grant, Loveridge, and Weaver.
All those in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes, 1 abstention. Mrs. Hoffman.
So moved. G 38223.
G 38223, resolution authorizing an agreement with Bach Harrison LLC, Department of Mental Health, introduced by legislators Grant, Loveridge, and Weaver.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 38323.
G 38323, resolution authorizing the purchase of road salt mineral crushed rock, Highway Department, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Grant, Weaver, Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 38423.
G 38423, resolution authorizing contracts with various county municipalities for snow and ice removal, Highway Department, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Grant, Weaver, Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 38523.
G 38523, resolution authorizing heavy truck parts and repair contracts, Highway Department, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Grant, Weaver, Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 38623.
G 38623, resolution authorizing the purchase of aluminum box culverts from New York State OGS contract, Highway Department, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Grant, Weaver, Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 38723.
G 38723, resolution amending resolution G 27023 for the purchase of highway equipment, Highway Department, introduced by legislators Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 38823.
G 38823, resolution naming Rensselaer County as responsible local official for the New York State Department of Transportation Equitable Business Opportunities Program, Bureau of Economic Development and Planning, introduced by legislators Choquette, Generin, and Nichols.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 38923.
G 38923, resolution authorizing an agreement for employee benefits consulting and administrative services, Bureau of Human Resources, introduced by legislators Wysocki, Patiri, and Zaluski.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 39023.
G 39023, resolution amending resolution G 46219, authorizing departments with sufficient appropriations to electronically purchase approved office supplies from Cooperative Purchasing Contract Sourcewell number 012320-SCC, Bureau of Essential Services, introduced by legislators Leverage, Grant, Weaver, Bailey, Hoffman, and Grimm.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 39123.
G 39123, resolution of the county legislature of the County of Rensselaer, New York, imposing taxes on sales and uses of tangible personal property and certain services, and on occupancy of hotel rooms and amusement charges pursuant to Article 29 of the tax law of the state of New York, introduced by legislators Bailey, Hoffman, and Grimm.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 39223.
G 39223, resolution authorizing the purchase of spike stab-resistant vest outer covers, Office of the Rensselaer County Sheriff, introduced by legislators Grant, Maloney, and Weaver.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 39323.
G 39323, resolution authorizing a license and services agreement with Tyler Technologies, Bureau of Public Safety, introduced by legislators Leverage, Grant, Weaver, and Maloney.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 39423.
G 39423, resolution authorizing an agreement with City Station West LLC for parking at 1600 7th Ave, Troy Buildings Department, introduced by legislators Leverage, Grant, Weaver, Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 39523.
G 39523, resolution supporting extension of public fishing rights on the sections of the Modern Kill owned by Rensselaer County and the town of Schodack, County Executive, introduced by legislators Patiri, Wysocki, and Zaluski.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 39623.
G 39623, resolution establishing a capital project critical maintenance science center and parking garage, introduced by legislators Casal, Genrin, and Doran.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 39723.
G 39723, resolution approving contract award for critical maintenance science center and parking garage, introduced by legislators Leverage, Grant, Weaver, Casal, Genrin, and Doran.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 39823.
G 39823, resolution authorizing chiller repairs, Rensselaer County Sewer District Number 1, introduced by legislators Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 39923.
G 39923, resolution authorizing the acceptance of a grant award from the New York State Department of Environmental Facilities Corporation, EFC, WII, grant and amending the 2023 Rensselaer County Adopted Budget, Sewer District Number 1, introduced by legislators Leverage, Grant, Weaver, Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 423.
G 423, resolution authorizing acceptance of an award from the New York State Division of Criminal Justice Services and amending the 2023 Rensselaer County Adopted Budget, District Attorney, introduced by legislator Hoffman.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 40123.
G 40123, bond resolution of the County of Rensselaer, New York, authorizing the undertaking of a sewer aeration improvement project for the Rensselaer County Sewer District, stating the estimated maximum cost thereof is $14,214,000, appropriating said amount therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $13,914,000 of serial bonds of said county to finance a portion of said appropriations. Introduced by Chairwoman Hoffman. This is a roll call vote.
Please call the roll.
Mr. Bailey? Yes. Mr. Casal? Yes. Mr. Choquette?
Yes.
Ms. Doran? Mr. Fiacco?
Aye.
Mr. Fleming?
Yes.
Mr. Genrin?
Yes.
Mr. Grant?
Aye.
Mr. Grimm?
Yes.
Mr. Leverage?
Yes.
Mr. Maloney is not here. Ms. Nichols? Yes. Mr. Patiri?
Yes.
Mr. Stahl?
Aye.
Ms. Weaver?
Yes.
Mr. Wysocki?
Yes.
Mr. Zaluski?
Aye.
Chairwoman Hoffman?
Aye.
17 ayes.
So moved. Okay, P 40223.
P 40223, resolution commending Honorable Paul W. Peter upon being named 2023 Magistrate of the Year, introduced by legislators Casal, Leverage, Choquette, Genrin, and the entire legislative body.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. P 40323.
P 40323, resolution recognizing October as National Rett Syndrome Awareness Month in Rensselaer County, introduced by legislator Hoffman, Leverage, Bailey, and the entire legislative body.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
17 ayes.
Yes, Mr. Casal.
My nephew, Barry, Barry, orders has only 50 boys in the world are born with this disease, and they're doing great strides by finding cures, and they are finding cures. Females are born with it. They live a life, and Joe Mazzarella, who's head of one of the departments, daughter has it. So I just want to thank you for your continuing.
Thank you, Mr. Casal. It's our pleasure. P 40423.
Did we vote
Did
on
we,
that?
I thought we voted. Did we not vote?
We did vote, I do believe, and after the vote, the legislator asked for the ability to say a few words.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. I have it at
Okay.
17
I
ayes.
think it was unanimous.
Yes.
Okay. P 40423.
P 40423, resolution recognizing November as National Diabetes Awareness Month in Rensselaer County, introduced by legislators Hoffman, Leverage, Bailey, and the entire legislative body.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. P 40523.
P 40523, resolution recognizing November 15, 2003 as National Recycling Day in Rensselaer County, introduced by legislators Grimm, Doran, Fleming, Nichols, Weaver, Zaluski, and the entire legislative body.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. P 40623.
P 40623, resolution urging President Biden to secure our nation's borders and supporting Rensselaer County's emergency declaration and encouraging New York's sanctuary cities to accept migrants being shipped to New York. Introduced by legislators Hoffman, Leverage, Bailey, Harrington, Casal, Choquette, Fiacco, Genrin, Grant, Maloney, Patiri, Stahl, and Wysocki.
Madam Chairman. if I
Mr.
may,
Grimm?
Just like to address this resolution. An interesting story, I was watching the TV, the news the other morning, and a segment came on with this man named Andrew Wybreck, and he is from Lake Placid. He's a two-time Olympic medalist for skiing, and he and his family run and operate the Mirror Lake Inn, which is kind of a pretty famous inn in Lake Placid, nationally known. And, I'd like to bring up a different perspective here on the asylum seekers and the immigration argument that we've been having. I know there's a lot of fear and I know a lot of misunderstanding and whatnot. But what this man was on the television for was because he had reached out. There had been a group of Venezuelan immigrants, and he asked that 30 of them, being families and whatnot, be sent up to him in Lake Placid, that he would house them and feed these people. He would also take those that were able to work into a hotel training program to give them a skill to be able to operate. And I just think that, that's a whole nother perspective of how we can look at, the solutions to the problems that we have with the borders, instead of just always turning to shut down. So I'm gonna vote no on this, but I just wanted to share that.
Thank you, Mr. Grimm. Okay. Yes, Mr. Zaluski.
Madam Chairwoman, I'm also not going to support this for similar reasons from the last time that a resolution like this was put in front of us. I don't think it really serves any purpose. There's a clause in there that says, whereas President Biden has encouraged people to make illegal crossings into the United States. There's been no such encouragement by the current administration to cross the border illegally. There is a problem. No one's gonna argue that there's a problem. We know that Mayor Adams in New York City is saying that there's a problem. The city is having a really hard time dealing with the influx of migrants, but the administration is doing what they can at the borders. I don't think this resolution achieves anything. The previous administration, the previous president, who made his entire persona was based on build the wall. That was his entire campaign. We're gonna build the wall. Mexico's gonna pay for it. The wall didn't get built. A few miles of wall got built. Mexico didn't pay for it. The current administration is actually, because Congress allocates the funds for this, the current administration, much to the chagrin of many progressives, the current administration is trying to continue building the wall. With border enforcement, building the wall, better use of surveillance technology, they're trying to solve the problem. But I want to just go back to when Legislator Grant gave the invocation. I think he said something along the lines of, we want to be helpful to the helpless. We want to be more kind and less cruel. These types of resolutions don't feel like we're achieving that purpose. And that's why overall, I'm not going to support it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Leverage?
I think we'd all like to be kind as much as we can. But this issue specifically talks about the residents and the constituents that we interact with in Rensselaer County. And I don't think anybody would disagree that, what Mr. Grimm said, that's a great thing that happened, it's a humane thing that occurred. But it doesn't take away from the need to secure our borders. We could have secure borders. We could have a mechanism in place that we are open to people coming to our country, but being vetted in a way that we know who they are and who's coming here, and then still do the things that you mentioned. The other part of this says that for the people that are in this county, we should support our county executive's emergency order, because it's obvious that what is happening nationally and into New York State is getting out of control. We don't want to be victimized by something that's out of control because the federal government can't do what they're supposed to do, and that the state government can't do what they should be doing. We are trying to be responsible elected officials in this county to take some type of control and responsibility for what is happening. Not trying to be evil or harm anybody that happens to come here in that situation. And, the last section in here says there's a lot of folks that want to accept people coming to our country who are migrants or immigrants, even under these circumstances. But in every single case where that has happened, those jurisdictions and municipalities are now overwhelmed, and their entire constituency and all of their citizens are being negatively harmed by the influx because there is no control. If there's anyone in this county that should be responsible for maintaining some type of control and being responsible and intelligent in reference to what's happening, it should be this body. So because of that, I'm going to vote yes.
Mr. Fiacco?
I'd also like to talk about this. Out of anybody in this chamber, I believe in immigration. As a matter of fact, I'm first generation in America in my family. But what I got to tell you, when my father came into this country, you needed a service that you could provide for this country. Now I don't know what we're letting a bunch of wild animals in or whatever, and that's hurting our families, okay? My children, everybody getting ahead because we have to maintain people who aren't qualified for any service in this country. I might sound wacko, but that's where I'm at. I represent the people who live in District 2, and this is what they want. So you guys vote how you feel, but I'm voting yes.
Mr. Zaluski, did you have something else to say?
Yeah, just one other thing. To the best of my knowledge, there are only 3 sanctuary city designations in New York State: Albany, Ithaca, and New York City. There are no municipalities that I'm aware of, so if I'm wrong, definitely someone clarify that. There's no municipalities in Rensselaer County that are designated sanctuary cities where their town boards or town councils or city councils passed anything along those lines. So there's an emergency declaration in place in this county, and Rensselaer County is not dealing with this issue. There is no influx of immigrants coming into the county. We don't have Troy or City of Rensselaer saying, we can't deal with this. There are municipalities in New York State that are dealing with it. And we know that New York City is the big one, but Albany is also a sanctuary city. I haven't heard Mayor Sheehan say that we're getting overwhelmed. I haven't heard anything out of Ithaca. I just feel like we're taking an issue that people have visceral reactions to this particular issue. I know my parents do. And we're making more of it than it is for our county. Across in New York State, it's certainly New York City, they need help. They need help. But for Rensselaer County, I'm not seeing this as an issue that's worth even debating over this. Thank you.
Madam Chairwoman.
Mr. Bailey?
Over in Rotterdam, they're not a sanctuary city, and a motel was flooded with people. People were put out of a motel to house these people. That's not a sanctuary city. And what Mr. Grimm said, yes, 30 people is a lot different than 15 million people that have crossed the border. It's gotten a little bit out of control. The people in New York City don't feel safe. There's been 5 arrests, 6 arrests this week up at a hotel in Albany already because of where the illegals were housed. I will be voting for this. Thank you.
Mr. Fiacco?
One more thing that I just want to say that to my colleagues. So if you're saying that what's going on in New York State doesn't affect the resources for people in Rensselaer County, I totally disagree 100%. That the monies that we're spending that could be spent on our own citizens that are legal, we're spending on people who are like laying in the streets. I can't get my head around what the other side is talking about, but I'll be voting yes again.
Mr. Loveridge?
I just want to say one thing to resolve this. We need to be proactive as opposed to reactionary, because you can always accomplish more and maintain control when you're trying to look at all the facts you're dealing with. We may have to address this issue in a different way at a different time, but right now, this is the most proactive thing we can do to establish a policy for this county. And at the same time, I am not saying that to in any way, shape, or form not be humane to people that might need assistance. But we don't have to be, we can be proactive and be responsible in making this decision, and that's why I want to say yes.
Okay. So I'll bring it to a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
11 ayes, 6 noes.
So moved. P 40723.
P 40723, a resolution opposing New York State's new background checks and fees for firearm and ammunition purchases, introduced by legislators Hoffman, Loveridge, Bailey, Harrington, Casal, Choquette, Fiacco, Genrin, Grant, Maloney, Patiri, Stahl, and Wysocki.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
11 ayes, 6 noes.
So moved. And that is the index of resolution. Legislator privilege. Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. All yes. Second, third, fourth, fifth. All those in favor, aye. Thanks, everybody. Have a safe night.